It is a great privilege and honor for me to introduce to the American public the baby tests which have been worked out in our Viennese psychological laboratory under the direction of Dr. Karl Bühler and myself. The test series has been constructed on the basis of 6 years research work with children of all age groups. We found that very definite characteristics could be stated for each developmental step in childhood and adolescence, and we tried to base the tests always on that performance which was characteristic of each age level. Within the lifespan, from birth to maturity, we found 5 periods of development. The first year of life is the first period, and each month has definite characteristics. So there is a test for each month separately in the first year. The second period covers the second to the 4th year of life. Only from 1/4 year to the other we find here characteristic differences. So there is a test for each quarter in the second year of life. Our plan is, of course, to go on with a systematic preparation of tests for the further ages, employing the same basic scheme. There are 10 performances in each test. The child is tested with the tests of his own age, but also with the tests of 2 months before and 2 months later, so that each child really goes through 50 performances. We will show you now some samples of tests. We present you here a 3-month child. The first test which I want to show is his social reaction to my eyes. I look into his eyes and smile at him, and he smiles back. He displays now a movement which also a child of this age should display during the test performance. He displays experimental movements with his hands, watching the movements of his own fingers. Now I shall disappear, and the child should follow my face, which he did for a minute. Third test. We show to the child an object. First we have to try to catch his look, his glance, so that he really sees the object. He is still attracted in hearing my voice and all the time looks at me. The child of this period is much more interested in the human being than an object, and it's hard to get him interested in objects in the presence of human beings. Now he saw the object, and he is following the movement of the object with his eyes. All right, good. The next is the body mastery test. We hold the child into the prone position, and he should hold his head and shoulders erect in this position. He looks around pretty well, I think. All right. Now we put him again to the lying position and perform the diaper test. We put a diaper on his head, and he should try in this difficult situation of life to get rid of the hindrance. He will display all kinds of disorganized and undirected movements, and will in this age not yet get rid of the hindrance. You see that his movements are not yet directed, and he also displays movements with the legs which are of course of no help in this situation. Now the last test which we will show is the feeling of objects. As soon as the child of 3 months touches an object, he is again much more interested in the person than the object. First we have to get his interest for the object. He produces cooing sounds which I wish to have in the beginning, looking back at the person. That's now all right. Belongs to the reaction to the person. Present you here a 7-month baby. First we show him a toy, and he grasps at that toy actively and tries to get it. He takes the toy away from the adult, displaying the activity which is characteristic for this age. Second test. We give him a paper. He should take this paper and he should try to change the form of the paper, crush it, which he does. The child younger than his age only would swing the paper around in an unspecific manner, while the child of 7 months for the first time changes the form of the paper in crushing it. All right, next test. We give to the child now 2 objects. And he should be able to manipulate these 2 objects at the same time, which he does. A child younger than his age is only able to manipulate 1 toy at the same time. The 7-month child is able to manipulate 2 toys at the same time. Next test. We have him sit up and we'll try to have him imitate this movement. He imitates the knocking movement. Once more. Do it once more.
How do you do it?
All right. Next. The next test is the so-called diaper experiment. We put a diaper on the head of the child, which is a difficult situation of his life, especially in this supported sitting position, and he should now try to draw away this diaper and should succeed in getting it away in even the sitting supported situation, which he does. We call this the mastery of the body in a difficult situation. The last test which we will show with this child is pushing away a disagreeable stimulus and trying to get rid of something which is disagreeable for him.